Hello, hello, Heather. Happy Monday. How are you today? I'm good. Your audio is off.
I
How
know
do
I don't know what I'm having technical difficulties. Hold on one second.
I don't know what's going on. Try
Okay, is that better?
is so much better.
So sorry. That's what happens when I don't have Aiden here helping me. I don't know what happened, but I think we got it figured out.
You know what? Mercury retrograde is killing me. I'm having electronical issues all over the place. So, that's okay. We're gonna move through it. How was your weekend?
It was really good. We had some friends in town and got to spend a lot of time just like connecting with people. And it was my daughter's birthday. She turned 17 and it just kind of going down memory lane with that. It's so crazy to like look back on pictures and they were like so little and can't believe 17 years has gone by. So we got to celebrate her this weekend, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it really is like don't blink. It is the blink of an eye. Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like you had a great weekend. So I'm really happy to hear that. Couple things I want to talk about today before we get into the questions. I want to number one say thank you to everyone for liking and subscribing to the channel. We've hit 6,000 followers. So it's so fun to watch this grow and be able to touch more lives. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is my book. It's out. Aiden has created a QR code if you would like to purchase it. It's 111 angel messages. And what I like about this book is it's not really meant to be read cover to cover. It is more like a message of the day. So just even opening it up to the random message and seeing, what is it the angels are asking you to focus on today. So it's kind of fun and it's easy like that. And I've got a lot of good feedback on it. So that's great.
It's amazing, Michelle. So excited for you.
Thank you. Do you want to start with our Miracle Monday, our miracle, modern day miracle?
Yes, thank you for writing it. It's so fun to read these. So we'll just kind of start off. We have our Monday miracle from Sybil. She said, I was really missing my dad over the weekend. It was raining and I decided to drive the 45 minutes to the cemetery. On my way there, I saw a beautiful rainbow and I heard my dad say, I'm right here. It was just the reminder I needed.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that kind of makes me want to like talk about missing our loved ones right now because this is the time of year where I get, and I think most mediums get more emails, more messages about, I'm in such deep grief. It's my first Christmas without my loved one, or it's my fifth Christmas and I thought I'd be better by now. Whatever these stories are that we tell ourselves. So number one, I love that she got her rainbow because that is her miracle from her dad. But this is something that is available to all of us. So kind of like we've talked about before, right now, we're getting, people have raw emotions when we're missing our loved ones. Start to focus on where their presence is still in your life, on the rainbow, on the song, on the butterfly, on whatever the signs are that they're sending to you. And one of the things that so many of us forget to do is we actually are always walking around like a satellite, sending out the I miss you, I love you signal. But we really forget to stop and sit on the couch for 5 minutes and do a meditation or let ourselves really focus on a favorite memory to connect with our loved one in spirit who is, number one, still alive, still loving us, still connected to us, and still communicating to us. So we've got to make the time to receive the information. We're really good about sending it out and looking for their absence because that's part of our human condition. But let's try to focus on their presence and let's also create the time and the space. Maybe we light a candle for them today, or we just send up a prayer. Like I said, sit for 5 minutes. Give them the opportunity for you to feel their love, their connection, and their communication with you. I promise you, your loved ones are still right here.
Thanks, Michelle. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an interesting time of year, but we've just got to focus on their presence.
Well, and it was just tied in perfectly with Sybil's experience. It was like that effort of going to the cemetery to connect. Her loved one knew that they were trying to connect with her and was able to send her that message. And she was looking for it and wanting to search for that connection and found it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful when we start to realize that they are still right here. And one of the things that I would say is that when we have someone in spirit, some people will say, I have to live the rest of my life without them. And other people will start to say, I'm going to find them no matter where they are. And I'm still going to live this life with them, even though it's not going to look like it did when they were in a body. And I want people to know you are still living your life with your loved one in spirit. It definitely looks different, but they're walking next to you.
Thank you so much. Should we get started with our questions? We have quite a few in the chat already. So thank you all for writing in your questions, and thank you for being here. Our first question is from Sybil. Hi, I'm dealing with minor health issues and feel it's related to stress and old emotional energy. Is it from finally leaving a toxic friendship? And how do you use the spirit world to help heal the physical?
Yeah. So it is stress. And when I see it, what I'm hearing, like the guides saying, is they're actually calling it stale energy. So old energy, but I want you to think of it as being really like a stale situation. 2025 was challenging for a lot of people because it was showing us what we needed to let go of, whether it was people, places, situations, jobs, thought patterns, emotions, right? And then what we're getting ready to step into is 2026, which is all about new beginnings, new thought patterns, new connections, new. So what I would tell you is call your angels in and ask them to help you remove the energy that you don't need to carry anymore. But a lot of times for us as humans, this becomes a conscious choice. We literally have to look at something that might have been hurtful. It happened 20 years ago, and see it as this big old duffel bag that we're carrying on our back every day. And we have to start telling ourselves regularly, I'm making a conscious choice to not carry that anymore. So in spirit world, this is kind of what they call forgiveness. So forgiveness is not necessarily biblically the way that you might think of it, or the way some people might describe it. It's not like saying, it's okay that you did this to me. That was terrible. I love you anyway. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that weight is too heavy for me to carry any further. And when we have that energy in our space around us, in our energy field, we're actually blocking ourselves from more blessings that are wanting to come in. So really think about that. Also, again, I'm going to go into the sea analogy, right? SEE. So when we're looking at people, their souls, right? Having a human experience, everyone sees life through their own lens. And we need to assume that everyone is really trying to do their best, right? So we tend to take things personally, but a lot of times it is personal, but it's not really about you. It's about them. So yeah, it's personal, but it's about them. And I think those few things that your angels are bringing in are really going to help you move through this.
Thanks, Michelle. I love how you talk about forgiveness and what we've been taught, or like what it actually looks like. And so many times I'm like, just by forgiving someone doesn't make what they did right. But like you talked about, just it's too heavy for us to carry, and we don't have to carry that any longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Our next question: will we know everything when we pass on, or just what we learned during our incarnations? It's a good question.
Oh, I love that. That is a good question. The answer is we're going to have so much more knowledge available to us than we have here, but we're still going to look for the experience. So that's why we're still going to want to come back in human form, or we're going to want to go to another planet or another dimension, because I want you to think about knowing everything like reading the dictionary. It's kind of like, okay, it's black and white, right? There's not a lot of fun. But if you're reading the word fun in the dictionary and now you're experiencing Disneyland, you're having the experience of fun versus the knowing of it, right? And so yeah, we're going to be able to tap into the knowledge, but the soul is still going to want the experience.
Thanks, Michelle. I really like how you drew that parallel between like reading about something and then actually like doing it, like hearing about Disneyland or actually going to Disneyland. I like that.
Yeah.
This next question's from Deborah. My husband recently passed. Do you see me moving in with my daughter or son, or will I just stay on my own in this house?
So my deepest condolences, Deborah. What I'm feeling from the guides. First of all, I just have to tell you, your husband is giving me huge goosebumps. So you are probably getting goosebumps, tingling, heat, cold. He's using like temperature as a way of catching your attention. So pay attention when you feel hot, tingles, cold. That's really him. He's taking me to his right leg. So I don't know if he had an issue with the right leg or hip, or if you do, but I just want to acknowledge that. What I'm feeling for you is this: you're going to have the opportunity to move in with one of the kids in the next 6 months. But I'm going to tell you real honestly, I'm not sure that you're going to take it, because that's what your husband's telling me. You might decide to downsize or go to a retirement community or go to some place that feels somewhat new. And you will have the opportunity to move in, but I just feel like you're not ready to make that decision yet. Give yourself 6 months. That part is really clear.
Thanks, Michelle. And here's a question from our email. This is from Judy. She wrote in, "Hi, Michelle and Heather. I met you, Michelle, at the Unity Church and commented on how much I enjoy Mondays with Michelle and the supporting, loving friendship you share with each other." Thank you. My question is, I was happy to be asked to co-lead a large Bible study. I had led groups in my career and felt positive about the leader. The group has been warm and inviting, but each week the leader only has given harsh criticism and continually negative complaints. I have tried to give kindness in return, but why is this happening?
So there's a couple of things that I want to say about this. This has to do with the words that guides are giving, knowing your worth, right? So this is about knowing the value that you're bringing to the table and that the other people are happy with it. Again, the leader, go ahead and notice, like soul having a human experience, seeing life through their eyes. The way your guides are showing it to me, it's a little bit of like a water and oil mixed between you and her. Like you guys are wanting to move on the same path, but you have a different style of communication. So I would just say, try to really communicate with this person in their communication style, not yours, because what you're saying is coming out almost as a different language.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question, is it in my life plan to move to Charleston, South Carolina as our last duty station before my husband retires?
It feels very likely. They're giving me an 85%.
All right, our next question. Do you see any signs of a career change or promotion coming for me? And that's from July Lee.
I want to say yes, but I'm seeing it. They're telling me it's between 4 to 6 months away. So it's not going to happen immediately in the new year, but there is that energy is pretty strong. We're looking really, somewhere between 4 to 6 months. So yes is the answer.
And this is a question that was written in to the email from Jane. If we all start off as a fragment of God who is all love and all knowing, why do we have to learn about love and have to learn lessons?
Okay, because this is about, I love this. Here's our theme of the day, right? This is about learning and experiencing it in the contrast. So earlier, like I said, when we get to that other realm, that heavenly dimension, yes, we're able to access the information, but it's the difference between reading it in a book and living it and having the experience, right? So the energy of God, source, the divine, wants experience, and each one of us humans are a piece of God having an experience at this time, right? It's so different to actually be the one who gets surprised at the surprise party versus reading about it in a book, right? And so part of planet Earth on our human level, because of the veil that we're veiled with, is the surprise party. It's the amazing people you meet that you never knew you needed in your life until they step in. It's the grief, it's the joy, it's the whole spectrum of emotion. So our souls choose to come to planet Earth for the contrast because we want to have the experience. And God wants that experience. God, source, the divine, we are a piece or a spark of God.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question is from Haley. Will I be seeing my boyfriend this December in Dubai or in the US? Any travel dates I should keep in mind? Are we heading in a good direction in the relationship?
So I'm saying there's a heightened energy I feel for him to be here, and that feels like it's between sometime after Christmas into the first half of January. So that's where I'm seeing it. You guys are heading into the right direction, but the guides are wanting to say this, like, don't put the cart in front of the horse energy. Like, remember to breathe, remember to take this one step at a time. There are still a lot of pieces that need to fall into place, and especially in long distance relationships, very often we tend to fall in love with who we think the person is instead of who they actually are. And you've got to have that boots on the ground time to actually realize who you're in love with and who you're living with or wanting to share your life with. So I would just tell you, just take it as slow as you need to and really honor who he's presenting himself to you to be, not who you want him to be.
Thanks, Michelle. This next question was an online submission. It said, please give us your most powerful ways to strengthen our connection with our spirit guides and angels.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. So there's a couple of things that I want to say. Number one, if you go to my website, I actually sell a course on there that's pre-recorded to connect with your spirit guides, and another one to connect with your angels. And in April, I'm going to be rolling out live a 7-week Connect with Your Angels course on Shift Network. So I just want to put those out there. But really what we're looking for is creating a connection in the sense that if you don't know the name of your life guide or your angel, give them a name. They're like a puppy in that energy. They're like, if you call me Fred, every time you call me Fred, I know you're talking to me, right? But if you can get their name, that's even, more amazing. So start with a name, a connection, a symbol, a sign, something like that. And then I want you to start asking them in every day. So we're starting to open the communication channels with them. That's really important. Their communication to us is open. Ours is like foggy and we got to go clean it out, right? So we're starting to say, I need you to go ahead of me and make this day more smooth and gentle, even if there are bumps in the road. Start playing with them. When you're going shopping at this Christmas season, tell them, call in your parking angels or your life guides and be like, hey, I need a parking spot at the front of the building when I get there as you're driving there. See what happens, right? So we always want to start in a playful way because our energy is higher and it's an easier vibrational connection. When we are looking to connect with them from a place of grief or depression, it is a little bit more challenging because our energy is lower.
Thanks, Michelle.
Play. Let's have a really fun little side note to this. I was doing a reading for this woman last week and she wanted to connect with their life guide. Sometimes I get their names and sometimes I don't. So her life guide comes in and he's kind of like this Irishman and he's got like this red puffy hair, and he tells me they call him Red Cloud, which actually sounds more like a Native American name, but it's because his hair is so red and it's like kind of frizzy. You know what I mean? So I'm giving her this information and he's clearly like redhead Caucasian energy. And she says to me, she's like, I live on Red Cloud Road. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? But so this tells you that she was already connecting with him before we got a name. So it's really interesting. You're already in connection, vibration, and frequency with them. They're working with you, but little things like that pop up, just even in my world, I laugh at that. And I'm like, well, that was pretty awesome.
I love that. Thanks, Michelle. It's crazy. Like we always talk about, like, we believe in it and we know these things can happen, but it's still always surprising or kind of shocking at times. Like, wow, that really happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Our next question. Hi, Michelle. Any messages from my Aunt Mary Lou, who passed away on October 31st? Thank you so much.
She's so funny. The first thing I hear her say is, what a day, what a day. I want to say something about her. She kind of wanted to make a statement is what she's telling me. So let's think about this. When people transition, their soul knows they're going to transition, right? And so she's funny because she has a statement piece type energy around her. So I want to say that with her. So she picked the 31st. She's also got a good sense of humor. She's telling me too that she plays with things in your house. So you're going to set your glasses on one end of the counter and come back in there on the other, or you're going to feel like you're losing things and 2 days later it shows up. But she's definitely giving you a lot of fun, a lot of energy in that very playful way. So look for her in a sense of joy and happiness because that's absolutely her energy.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question is an online one from Jennifer. She says, at the end of doing shadow work, I always ask the universe to take the energy I just worked with and transmute it into love and send that love back out into the cosmos for the benefit of all. I don't know what prompted me to start asking the universe to do this, but I'm curious if it's even possible. And does the universe or God actually do it? And does it help in the way I hope it does?
So the answer is yes to all of that. So what happens is intention and love are our two most powerful forces in the universe, period. So when you are saying your intention is please take this pain and transmute it into something good for all to benefit or for all to receive by, absolutely it happens. We will never know in this lifetime what it looks like. It could be, something simple. Somebody gets a scratch it ticket, they want $100. They needed it that day. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's turning into what we would see as huge changes, but you're literally adding good into the universe. And so do it. And that's why I always tell people, like, it's really important right now that we shine our light, because when you shine your light, when you let yourself embody the whole soul that you are, when you're the being that you're here meant to be, you are emanating love into the universe. And that has a collective effect on humanity and the universe.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Can you have telepathy through dreams with someone else? Shadow work? Question mark. This seems to happen with Dom and I am not entirely sure what to make of it.
Yeah. So you can have telepathy through dreams, because telepathy, mediumship, all of these things, it's just soul to soul connection, right? And we don't have to have them out of a body to have a soul to soul connection. We can have people in a body. Telepathy is your soul's natural way of communication. So it happens a lot. It happens to people. You might say have met someone once or twice in this lifetime, but you have a very strong soul connection to them from another lifetime. And so there is kind of like, you just have a feeling, oh, I think something hard's going on in their life, or I feel like things are going well for them. But this is a telepathic communication. So the answer is yes on that. The shadow work is, I'm assuming that was asking what the other question was. So shadow work is when we as humans decide to work on the yuck within us, the things that are hard, the parts of us that we don't like, the traumas. We decide to go in and face the darkness because we have the God-given gift of transmuting them into light. And think about the people in your life who have had really challenging situations and they still show up and smile, but they mean it. They're not just doing it as an act, right? And they still find joy and they still stop and smell the roses. This is someone who's done their shadow work. They face their fears, they face their hurts, they face their traumas. And now, because they've given themselves the beauty of seeing those really deep, dark things, they can actually fully step into the light and embody it even more.
Thanks, Michelle. This next question is from Mark. Hi, Michelle. I had a PRP hair treatment about a month ago, and the doctor said I should see results in around 3 months. Do you see me having more hair from it? Thank you so much.
The answer is yes. That felt very solid.
Great. Thank you. And our next question, back to some more shadow work. I have been doing my shadow work. However, relating to people, especially family, is so difficult for me. Any guidance you can provide me would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. So also, along with the holidays, missing our loved ones in spirit, we get faced with a lot of shadows because everybody gathers for Thanksgiving, everybody shows up at Christmas. And what you're going to find is, and this is interesting, I just had a talk with a client about this last week too. People most likely are not going to change, right? I'm so blessed because the people I have in my life, most of them are really willing to do the work to live the life that we're here to live. But there are always a lot of people who don't want to change or do the work. So when we're talking about family like this, when you go into these situations, I really want you to be the observer. We can always hold this space for this person to grow or heal their core wounding, whatever this is. But we have to remember, again, back to this, it's not as personal as it seems. If this is the sister who always lashes out at you, this is actually probably, if you haven't done anything to provoke it, their issue that they need to deal with and fix. That doesn't mean that it feels good to be on the receiving end of that. So the other thing that I'm going to add to this is when we are home alone, we can walk around so zen and peaceful, and I am so healed and I have done my work. And then you go out into the world and you have 25 triggers in an hour, right? Because true healing also happens in action. So remember, you can be healing and taking the step forward at the same time. And usually our deepest core wounds are from our family, because that was who was most important in our life in those younger critical years. But what you're really looking to do, and this kind of goes back to what we started with, is lay down the baggage that you're carrying. You cannot make your family change. They have to want to change. So what you're looking to say is, I'm allowing myself to heal. Mom will always be mom. Dad will always be dad. Whatever it is, if they change, that'll be a beautiful surprise for you. But you're just starting to see them for who they are, and that the things that you've been carrying, a lot of them were actually never about you. They were projected on you.
Thanks, Michelle. That's a great question, like you talked about, especially going into the holidays when we're around so many people and so many family members. So I really liked that. Thank you.
Yeah.
This question is from Bill. Did my step granddaughter and I ever have some kind of a relationship in a previous life?
Have what kind of a relationship? Another relationship?
Any type of previous relationship in another life.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm getting the number 3. So I want to say there are at least 3 other lifetimes that you two have been connected in. I'm hearing that 2, you guys are like, work in alignment with each other. One of them, you guys came in as challengers for each other. So yeah, when you're looking at her and seeing and feeling that connection, the majority of the time you guys are coming in on the same team.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question, any guidance of health, having grief from my little boy passing over?
Yeah. So my heart is with you. The first thing I want to tell you is, if you haven't connected or heard of Helping Parents Heal, please look into this group. They are one of the best groups I know for parents who have children in spirit, and you can find them online. They do a lot of YouTube and a lot of meetings on Zoom. So please take a look into that. Now, with your little boy, there's a couple of things that I want to say, because I'm feeling his energy coming real strong. He's showing me a lot of birds and a lot of feathers. So you're going to be getting either bright colored birds, blue jays, cardinals, hummingbirds, and feathers from him, because this is a lot. There's also like random noises that he's making. So I don't know if there are, the microwave beeps for no reason or something like that. But I want to say there is random noise happening in your house, but it's him being like, Mom, I'm right here. Mom, I'm right here. As you're moving through this, please check out on Amazon. My friend Farrah Gibson, she is a medium, has a book about living with my child in heaven. And I feel like that would be very important for you to read right now. Here's what you need to know. He is still walking beside you every day. He knows that you are longing for him, because he's not even giving me the word missing, that you are longing for him. And he says, I know this, Mom, and I'm still right here. And his energy for you is this: please keep taking each next step forward, because I get to take it with you. So very often he is, when you're having a thought of him, because he's showing me he drops a lot of pictures in your head, some of those thoughts aren't yours. Some of those are him and his way of being like, I'm here, Mom. And you have a memory or a picture of him. And this is his energy of wanting to remind you that he's walking right there with you. Yeah, one more thing about the grief. Grief is not a linear process, okay? Grief is like up, down, all over. It's like being on every ride at Disneyland at the same time, right? So just honor that in the moments where you can laugh, I want you to laugh, he wants you to laugh. In the moments where you need to cry, allow yourself to cry, because you're wanting to help the emotion move through you, not trying to just always suck it up or show up with a smile when it's really not where you're feeling. I'm also hearing from the angels on this, like, be aware of your energy right now, especially going into the holidays. If certain situations or people feel heavy, or Thanksgiving feels heavy, it's okay to sit it out this year, because I feel like next year you're going to have more of, they're just showing me an energy flow with you. The other thing, he's a talker. The other thing about him is he wants you to know he literally chose you because he thinks you are the best mom. So just carry that in your heart and look for the feathers in these bright colored birds because his love is pouring in on you.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Any messages from my boyfriend, Dick, who passed away November 1995? I found out he cheated on me after he had passed.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, because what I'm going to tell you the message is, this is the challenge of mediumship. Sometimes people want me to tell them what they want to hear, not what I'm going to tell them, right? And I want to tell you this with Dick because he is coming in and he is owning the responsibility in that. So I do want to say that. But I also have to say that he loved you and appreciated you. So he's giving me both of these as truth. And with that, like the relationship that you had with him was meant to be for a season, clearly, because what I'm seeing is even if he hadn't have transitioned, this was not going to be the person that you spent your life with. But he wants you to know, like, not to devalue the time that you spent together, because when you two were together, it was where he wanted to be. But his energy was already a little bit scattered. There might have been a lot of alcohol or maybe some drug use or some other things that were happening there too, because his energy is kind of fractured into different directions.
Thanks, Michelle. Next question. Any message from my sister who transitioned on August 8th?
Okay. So Lionsgate portal, right? Interesting, because that's how her energy comes in. So you're going to see a lot of like lions or lion cubs in connection with her. And I want you to just think about either scrolling on Instagram and lion cubs are popping up or whatever this is. But there's a lion energy and a paw print energy. So she's showing me a paw print. But I also want to say, I feel like maybe she has one of your dogs with her, because like maybe you had your dog cremated and you have a paw print or something of it, but she's showing me the paw print as being very important. The other thing that she's wanting to say to you is truly, she's still right here with you. So she does a lot with music. So she is a love language of music for you and going to send you a million songs. There's a big heartfelt thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. And this just popped up in the chat thread and I wanted to share it. It goes back to the question you had about the woman losing her boy. And after your response, she wrote in and said, "Thank you so much, Michelle, for that lovely message from my little boy. Explains a lot, as he lost his ability to talk the last few years of his life."
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. My heart is with you. You know, here's the challenge of being a medium. I understand the soul and the soul plan, and then I'm also human. And there's no part of me that thinks any parent should ever outlive their child, right? And so I get that grief, and having gone through Gary's suicide, there is no way to bypass it. The only way to move is through it, but it is hard and it is not an easy road. And so for everyone moving through grief right now, just know that you are so loved and supported by your angels, your life guides, and your people in spirit.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. I've been looking for a job and interviewing. Anything in the near future?
February. So you might get an offer in January, but you get the job in February, because I feel like start time comes February.
Thanks, Michelle. And our next question, this one's fun. Hi from Philippines.
Hi, Philippines.
So far away. What is the message of Grandma Natividad and her husband, Grandpa Luis, to me as I open my whole soul to my dad, their son? Will he yell, scold me? Anyway, so he won't.
Okay, so here's the energy on this. Your dad is going to be a little strict with you, because I feel like your dad has what your grandparents are telling me. He likes to control the situation. So if you're sharing with him something that he is wanting to control or isn't what he wants to hear, he's going to go ahead and do that. There's a little bit of a block in your throat. So this is what you're meant to do. You are meant to start speaking your truth and sharing that with people, because they literally took me to my throat and put my hand here when I was talking to you. So honestly, you've got to start speaking your truth first and foremost for you is what your grandparents are saying with so much love. Dad's reactions are going to be dad's reactions. Again, think about this is about dad, not so much about you. But for you, your next step, especially in 2026, is speaking your truth from the heart. And you don't need other people to agree with it or believe it as their truth or their reality. You just need to give yourself the gift of saying it.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, we're all done with our questions for today. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing and writing in. We really appreciate it. We wouldn't have a show without all of you writing in and sharing with us.
Yeah, and I love this time with everyone. So thank you for showing up. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And then don't forget, if you need some inspiration or a good little Christmas gift or something like that, 111 Angel Messages is now available. So I wish you all a wonderful week ahead, Thanksgiving week. Find those things that you're grateful for, even if it was not that your loved one is still here in their body, but you're grateful for the time you had with them. It's so much more important to focus on that than to focus on their absence, right? So I'm going to focus on the gratitude and love for all the people in my life, including everyone on here. I wish you a beautiful week ahead. Thank you. Bye.